spread the word on every product in the shop. So for those of you that are new that may not know how to grab a link, spread the word. When you click on any product in the shop or in Quirky store, there is a link, and I believe, Sandy, and you can come in if you want, I believe they change, they're supposed to change every time you click on that, correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay. We know that that's broken a little bit. So I know some people go to tiny URL and change it to tiny URL. I don't know what good that does, Sandy. Why do you do it?
I do it with Bitly because I like to customize my links versus having it be some random letter number combo.
Okay.
I like this is my I can't think of a product right now.
Yeah.
One of the fabulous Quirky products.
Yeah. Okay. And the nice thing about Bitly is you can actually keep track of all the links that are clicked.
Yes.
You know that, right? On Bitly.
Yes.
So
that's true.
For those of you who don't use Bitly to change or to shorten your URL, if you shorten your URL and you give it a name, you can go back and look at how many times that shortened URL is clicked, just for your own information, by the way, for those that use Bitly.
May I just chime in very quickly? When you click on the Quirky link, the little blue box where they provide the Quirky specific URL, you need to paste it in your the block at the top. I am just brain dead tonight. I apologize, people. And so that it brings up your own referral link. And so once you see that, that's when you would want to do the Bitly or Bitly, whatever you call it.
Yeah, you have to click on this spread the word down here first and then change it, because it'll show up in your social links, and I'll show you mine tonight and show you my my lovely selling that I've been doing. So anyway, that's what you do. And then a referral takes place, obviously, when someone clicks on that unique URL, and then a cookie is dropped into that referral's computer, whoever is clicking on it, for 30 days. So if they continue to purchase products or commit to products, you still get credit for those. And that's just the way it works. I know sometimes we don't feel like that's very fair. It should be a one-time only, but I think they had to do it that way. And then it just dumps it at 30 days. So anyway, that's how you make the money on those products. So what's in it for us at Quirky? For everybody, and by the way, I don't work for Quirky. It sounds like I do, but I don't. For every product you sell to a referral within the 30-day cookie limit, you earn 10% of the retail price. And then obviously, what's the wholesale price? Is it 10% of the wholesale?
Wholesale, it would be 10% of the wholesale, but I mean, the wholesale depends on what Quirky sells it for. It could be a $30 product retail, but Quirky could be selling it to somebody for $6, and so you get 10% of the $6 versus 30.
Right, and we'll never
in addition
really
to the
know,
influence that you may have built up.
Right, but we'll never know what that 10% is at any given time. So just to let you know. It's really a win-win for everybody for the benefits of what we're doing. I know Sandy's been at it for a very long time, probably 2 years. We won't go into the mess that she's got on hers, but there's so many ways that you could do the social selling. I'm going to give you some tips, and so is Sandy today, on just the easy ones to start with, and then you could branch out from there. The 30% of the retail price, right? The community gets 30%, and then we just get 10% of whatever they sell it at.
Correct.
Okay, so just want to make that clear. We should all know that by now. And then the major players, I think Sandy and I both agree, and some of you that are on that do social selling, I think Twitter happens to be probably one of your better ways to sell. One, you can start to get many, 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 many followers. And we're going to talk about how you can work with some of the Twitter companies, or all the Twittering that you can do in your lifetime. I'm sure they have a million companies out there that would do it for you, and most of them are free. And then Facebook, and again, Facebook is one of those where we're all a little bit weird about, attacking our friends and family every week on all of our stuff. I happen to do it because they all know I invent and do all of that, and they don't really care. But there are some Facebook rules, and that is, in Twitter, you really don't want to be that big of a nuisance because you can get banned. So you got to be careful. Like, if you're going to do recurring, which we'll talk about, maybe do it twice a week on one product, or once a week. I think, doing it every day on the same product over and over is just going to get annoying. So we'll talk about that. And then get some help on Facebook to create new Facebook pages for any products that you can think of. You might want to check to see if somebody, the inventor, started a page already. I know there's a couple of Ventu products pages out there. Not that I care, but you might jump onto that one instead of starting your own, so people will like it and and follow it. But again, you don't need to sell on your personal product page. By the way, you could skip over your own and just create a brand new one just for Quirky. So for those that don't know how to set up Facebook, I would talk to a friend who understands it pretty well, because it's more complicated than Twitter. Twitter has a very large reach, and if you do play your cards right, there's 36 to 56 million active users. That, I believe, happens to be my biggest seller. That's where I sell a lot of my products. What I'm not going to talk about, and maybe wait till next month or until they get the social sales fixed, I thought about talking about LinkedIn this time, but we're going to leave it off the table. I will mention it, but that's also a very good hotbed of finding people that have in common, like inventors, but also chefs. If you like to cook or whatever, you can find and search, on LinkedIn, people with interest in those kind of things as well. So if you don't have LinkedIn and you've never used it, that's a whole nother subject that I'll now I think I have 1,200 followers on LinkedIn, that's a pretty big network. So, but that's built over 4 years. So just keep in mind, we'll talk about that next time. So let's talk about Twitter for just a second. What Sandy and I really believe is, don't just keep following quirky people. I mean, have your quirky friends, and that's cool, but you really want to follow as many new friends as you can with the interest. If your goal is to sell quirky products, so if you're starting out with like Mantis, you're going to want to try to find techies or Mac users, or doing your searches for those types of people. Kitchen products, all of their kitchen line, you might want to follow chefs. I mean, I'm following Martha Stewart and a bunch of people, and hoping that someday one of her people will pick up, some of the kitchen products. So you can search by keyword, which I'm going to show you in a second. And I'm going to show you one of the other social sites that I'm using. And then just, again, follow the people you like. So I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to jump over, and I'm going to go to Twitter real quick so you can see this. So if somebody on the call does not have Twitter, my guess is some of you do. I'm actually going to my Twitter page, and all you do is you set up an account. You just put in twitter.com, and it just says, do you want to start an account? You just put in a name. I go by my own name, A. Zabinski. You could start off with saying, a quirky member or whatever. And then you just start following who to follow. Just click that, and then just do keyword searches like chefs, and just hit search. Once you've done that, it's going to take a while to load up your chefs, but that's the kind of people you're going to want to, follow. Bed Bath & Beyond I'm following, but this is, I was following. I don't know whether I'm not anymore. I follow Ben. I follow Sandy. I follow Josh Wright. I do follow some quirky members, but I also really like to see, people that are involved with pets or whatever. So that's what I'm saying. Search for your followers, and then hit view suggestions, and then you just hit follow. You just follow the people that you think that you want to follow. Now, if you click on their people's name, like let's go to her. Look at how many people she has following, and how many she's following, and how many followers she has. It's a lot. If you can get her to follow you, which you would want to follow her if you like New York City, as an example, or photography, if you retweeted something to her, it would go on her Twitter account. And then, as long as she follows you. So the easy part, all I can say is that play around with Twitter. It's a lot of fun. I have recurring Twitter. I do Twitter here and there on my own. And I think, Sandy, if you want to talk a little bit about how, to chime in, don't just do recurring all the time, like actually converse with people.
Absolutely. You don't want to sound like a machine, because people they'll stop following you.
Right. So if I do a @s or at Ben Kaufman. I know Ben. There he is. He pops up in my